Where do I even begin, guys? Where the fuck do I even begin? Like, this is my first video ever. And the first video, we're going to start off by talking about Jimmy Butler's fit on the Warriors. A lot of people were doubting, Jimmy Butler and his fit on the Warriors, man. A lot of people, including myself. Because number one thing, right, that was a concern for me was how is he going to fit beside Draymond? Both of those guys are alpha dogs, right? They're egotistical. So, how are they going to fit? I was waiting for both of them to crash out. I was waiting for that to happen. I'm still waiting for that to happen. But we'll see. They're both competitors. At the end of the day, they both want to win. And they're doing the best thing they can to win. What they think is right for them. So I can't really argue with that. But, when that trade happened, I was a little confused. A lot of people were saying, oh, Miami robbed them. Right? Miami this, Miami that. I think Miami won the trade. Essentially, what Miami traded Jimmy Butler away for was Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder got traded away, Kyle Anderson, a protected first-round pick that's going to Miami in exchange for Butler. Right? And at first, Golden State, Jimmy Butler was not Golden State's ideal prospect. It was Kevin Durant. But Kevin Durant didn't want to go back because, him and Draymond and the whole business happened there. So Kevin Durant didn't want to go. They tried Jimmy Butler, but then reports were saying that Jimmy Butler shut down the trade because he didn't want to sign there long term. But then a few days later, and this was February 3rd when that happened, and then February 5th, Jimmy Butler got traded to the Warriors and he got an extension. I think his extension was, if I can find it somewhere in my notes. Essentially, they extended Jimmy Butler. Not sure how much they extended him for. They signed him to a 2-year, $121 million extension. Right? That's a lot of freaking money for a 35-year-old that is kind of aging, in my opinion. And they basically, I feel like Wiggs was there, could have been like a long-term player, but they want to maximize Steph Curry's championship window right now because Steph Curry ain't getting younger. He's getting older, and we could clearly see the declines this year. He's not. I would say next year, even Steph Curry's not going to be the superstar we all thought he's going to be, and we got to come to a realization that he's not going to return to that. But what Jimmy Butler brings to this team, this Golden State Warrior team is a 3-point shooting team, right? What Jimmy Butler brings is toughness. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to bring a winning mentality. And that's just the, X factor and the other stuff. The other stuff he's going to bring on the basketball court specifically, he's going to be attacking the ring. That's his game. Jimmy Butler's game is attacking the rim, mid-range shot. He's not the greatest 3-point shooter ever. He's a 33% 3-point shooter, career 3-point shooter. But even then, he's not a bum. That's a respectable rate, right? You don't sag off of him, especially in the playoff time. His 3-point percentage actually goes up. So what he brings to this Warriors team, he's going to be very aggressive attacking the rim. He's going to be a secondary playmaker, right? Which allows Steph Curry to kind of ease off his role as the primary playmaker. Jimmy Butler can playmake, and Steph Curry can finally be that off-ball player, right? Alongside Buddy Hield and the group. He also brings, what he brings to Golden State is another perimeter defender. Another defender that could go out and guard 1 to 4 players, right? He also does all the intangible stuff, right? He can grab boards, right? He can get steals. He can stuff the stat sheet. He's going to get to the free throw line a lot. At 6'7", 6'8", he's got a good frame, good weight. He's very, very strong, very defined guy. Especially against the Bulls, we saw in his debut yesterday. He was straight up balling. Like, that first bucket he got as a Warrior, that lob from, Buddy Hield. He cashed it, dunked it, and then they were down by like a significant margin. Then they came back after halftime and beat them by a big margin. So that, I think that has to do a lot with Butler. If it was just Steph Curry by himself, I see them losing to the Bulls. Right? I feel like the first half they were trying to figure out how Butler can fit into this. And then after the second half, they're like, okay, this is what Butler needs to do. This is what da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? And realistically, if you looked at all the games before Butler arrived in Golden State, you can clearly see that they didn't have another defender other than Draymond. Because let's be honest here, Steph Curry can't play a lick of defense. He's a great shooter. Buddy Hield, another good shooter, can't play a lick of defense. Draymond is the only one. And Wiggs, Wiggs is a great defender, don't get me wrong, but he's not at a level as a Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's an all-NBA, all-defender. I can safely put Jimmy Butler on anyone. 1 through 4, he can guard. He can guard the point guard. He can guard the shooting guard. He can guard the small forward, power forward. Right? And that type of versatility is what the Warriors were looking for. Right? They needed a guy that could guard, be a secondary ball handler / playmaker, and be aggressive. They needed another star. And they got him. They got him. But are they going to win a championship? Personally, I don't think so. It's just too much of an old group, man. Too much of an aging. I feel them making a deep playoff run this year. Conference, maybe even the finals. They're making the finals. Maybe. There's a good possibility they are. But are they going to win it? No. I don't think so. Can they make it there? Of course, right? But if they came across a Boston team, or if they came across a Cavaliers team, they are getting swept, in my opinion. They are getting swept. But needless to say, I really like the Jimmy Butler acquisition. A lot of people are, doubting it, saying second round exit. I could see that happening. But, you still got to remember, they have Podziemski. I'm very high on that guy. I really like his playing style. Whenever Steph Curry's not on the floor, this season he's regressed a little bit, but it happens to all young guys. When Steph Curry's not on the floor, he could be that guy for Steph Curry, kind of, substituting for him. Kind of be that guy off the bench, really. The only problem I see with the Warriors is them not having a quality big man. I think that's going to affect them significantly. Because come playoff time, they got to go. Let's look at the centers of the Western Conference, right? You got Nikola Jokic. You got, if the standings are still, if we were going to the playoffs today, they got to go up against AD. They got to go up against, Nikola Jokic, like I said, Alperen Şengün, another, young all-star center. Who else? Chet. They also have Isaiah Hartenstein. Who am I missing here? BA West. Lakers don't have a big man, but Timberwolves have Rudy Gobert, right? Clippers have Zubac, right? Like, these are, and if the Spurs make it, Wemby, right? So these are the type of centers these guys have. And if they do make it to the finals, and it's either Cavs or Celtics, in my opinion, they're going to have to go against Mobley. Who's going to stop Mobley? Jared Allen. I think for the Celtics, they got, Al Horford, even though he's old, he can, that's still a big body. Then they got, what's his name? Tingus Pingus. Kristaps Porzingis, right? So they got to worry about that, too. But other than that, I'm liking the fit. Even though it's a small sample size, and it's a shitty, Bulls team, I'm liking this fit so far. I'm gonna have to see more. Probably tomorrow's game against the Bucks, right? We're gonna have to see how this team rolls against the Bucks, and then from there we can kind of narrate where this Jimmy Butler era in San Francisco is gonna go. But so far, I like it. They got a guy to kind of help Steph Curry. They got a playmaker, a defender, a competitor, a leader. All in all, I'm liking this Jimmy Butler acquisition. That's all I gotta say, man.